Hello, good evening, and very welcome to Candy's Crafts Corner. My name is Candy Rodo, and today I'll have a special tutorial for you. Can you believe it's already December? I can't. I think that my going away for Thanksgiving and not having the 4 days to give it a big push to my cars has put me really behind. So I'm trying to catch up while also trying to keep up with you guys. So let me check that everything's working. I think it is. Oh, there you go. Yes, it is. All right. I'm ready. Okay. So as I'm pushing, I realize I'm pushing for my holiday cards. I realized that they're all kind of like whimsical, and not everybody likes whimsical. And I have many friends who like kind of like a more classic, vintage look for their cards. And so I decided to make some vintage inspired projects. So these are my projects, and they mix a lot of, like when I do something like that, when I do the steampunk or the vintage inspired, Victorian inspired cards, I go into my stack of stamps and I find something that's more suitable for that time, so that the fonts match and the illustrations and the stamps are more on that style. So I apologize in advance if I'm using things that you may not have. Some of them are retired, but this is just to be an inspirational tutorial for you, not just to copy everything that you see if you don't have everything, but at least it gives you some ideas of how to use your own materials. And we have many stamps that are like vintage looking, still available, but I use what I had in hand, and I hope that you do the same. All right, so let's start. So I'm gonna start with this one, and this one uses linen paper. The linen paper, last time I checked, is on the clearance section of our website, and it's super discounted. So I love it, because for this card it looks like a piece of handkerchief that's framed. It also uses flame florets, which was one of our sets that retired, sadly. But anyway, I still have it. There's things that you don't part with, and this is one of them for me. Everybody has their favorites, right? But I do like the little framing thing, and it looks very Victorian to me. So let's start with this one, and we'll continue with the other ones. All right. Let's start with this one. So for this one, as I said, we have the linen thread. Where is the material? Here we go. This is it. And what I did, I used, actually I tried two things. To make it a little old looking, either I use sponge dauber and some crumb cake. I used to use soft suede, but it's one of the retired colors, so I'm trying not to use it for you. Though the frame actually is from soft suede cardstock, but you can use any other brand, maybe pecan pie or something. I kind of like this combination, right? And what I do is it's just like I just get the crumb cake, and I'll just actually for the borders I'll use the sponge dauber. But for the main thing, I use blending brushes. So let's start with that. Right. I'm gonna try to go quick because these cards take a little bit of time, and I don't want to have you here a long time. I was gonna make only 4 cards, but then I said, like, no, let's make 5. Anyways, I'm gonna use scrap paper so I don't bother so much with the mat that is brand new. So you know how we always say when you're using the blending brushes, go from outside in, so you don't have this spot. I don't care about this spot now because it kind of when things get old, they have that kind of stain look. So I kind of like that there's that spot is in the middle, kind of. I'm just trying to put it not only on the borders, just a little bit, so it looks like old linen, like a no. To me, it looks like once it's done, it looks like an old linen handkerchief. And I wish we had this fantastic looking Santa stamp that was very vintage, and I would love to have it for this project, but I never did. I never got it on time, and then it retired and whatever. Anyway, I didn't get it. But I love that one. And something like that, that's what I'm talking about, that, you know, you can look at the, hi Kate, hi Helen, yes, faux antique. So, yeah, so you look at the stash of what you have and see what matches your project. So I actually chose the Ponciera Petals stamp set because it's very, let me see, very vintage looking for what I'm like, and I like the fonts that it has. So anyway, but you use what you have. So this is pretty much done. I just lost the video, so I'm just trying to reinitiate it. There we go, so I can see your comments. So this is pretty much done, and I'm now gonna go a little bit on the sides, but not too much because it's gonna get covered by the little frame. So I'm just a little bit. This will give you a more concentrated look of ink, so that, you know. There you go. All right, so let's go to the Ponciera now, and we're gonna do it in cherry cobbler. So I said these cards are not pim pam, you're done. They take a little bit of time, but they're worth it, I think. I should have used my mat, and I didn't, but it came out okay. And I'm gonna now turn it and feel it, because you see how there's like room. And thankfully it's a photopolymer stamp, so you can actually see what you stamped before and where you're gonna stamp now. Give it a good press, and voila. Pretty cool. Oh, and I'm not gonna closing this because I'm actually gonna open the tray, because I'm gonna use a little bit of the ink with one of our water brushes to fill out the petals. And the water brushes have a reservoir of water, so you just have to press and wait for it to go down. That's what I'm doing this because I want to make sure that I get some water there. Sometimes it takes a while because there may be some residue in the water, so it takes a little bit of time. But let me see if there's another one of the brushes that works a little bit better. Maybe. Yes, this, see, this comes, it looks like it's stained. I mean, that is green, but no, it's just stained, but it won't color anything. So I'm just gonna go like this, and getting the petals. Not trying to be very realistic, I just want a little bit of color. And when you need more water, you just press on the sides and it comes down. And if we need more color, I'll just grab it from there. All right. Not to going crazy about the very, very edge, because as I said, this is gonna get covered by the frame that I'm gonna put around it. Hi, Joanne. Thank you for joining. Glad you made it. Okay, so I'm trying to get more water here and more ink. Because this is the linen, it absorbs a lot, so it takes a little longer to color than it would cardstock. And once you get it down, it's hard to blend it. So I'm trying to not make it too bloody, but it doesn't really matter. It's an old handkerchief that we're trying to make, right? So it's not gonna be perfectly preserved or anything. The colors may be faded in some places, so that's my idea for this. I love this paper. I mean, I've used it for other purposes too, and when it went on sale I got even more, so I have a stash of these, and I recommend you do too, because take advantage of it. It's in the clearance section, and I think it's like $2.50 for the pack, so it's actually pretty nice. Okay, I don't know why it doesn't. All right, I think this is good enough. Now we're gonna go for the leaves, and to clean this, by the way, just like press, get more water, and go on the side of your paper and just go like this until what you get is like you don't get any more red. So you're still getting quite a bit of red because no water is coming out, but okay, there we go. There's the water, and you see how there's barely any red now. So this is ready for the next application, which is gonna be our green, because we're gonna put some leaves into this, and we're gonna do them in mossy meadow, because this background that I'm gonna use is from Traditions of Saint Nick DSP, I think it's called, or maybe not. Yes, Traditions of Saint Nick, and it has a mossy meadow thing, and I embossed it with the distress tile, I think it's called, embossing folder. So you see it's not super perfect, but I love actually that when you emboss it, it kind of breaks the fibers of the paper, and you see through the green, you see the white of the paper, so it gives the more distressed look, so it's perfect for this project. But anyway, going back to our leaves here. Hi Abby, good evening. Thank you for joining. Okay, so I'm using, as I said, mossy meadow, and I'm gonna try to angle these between the petals. And you see how I didn't get the ink correctly, even though I re-inked this pad yesterday. But sometimes it happens with the linen, but not to worry, because we have here the brush and we can fill it up a little bit more. And I'm gonna put another one there. Yeah, and it kind of looks like distress, so I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not even gonna use the brush for this one. I like it. All right, so that's our middle oval, right? So let's put this together. So we have our base, and it's your typical card base of 8.5 by 5.25, and scored in half to 4.25. I'm just gonna glue that. Okay, I put a little bit extra glue because it's embossed, so I want to make sure that it's properly adhered. I'm using, Joanne, this is Traditions of Saint Nick for this specific card. It's just that I embossed it with the distress style, I think it's called, embossing folder. I'm gonna check the name. the die, which die are you talking about? The frame florets? Abby is saying that she hasn't thought of using that die set. I guess that's a frame floret. Anyway, so here we have like, actually no, we have to stamp the sentiment first. Oops, forgot about that part. And I actually have here something else here, but I don't think it needs it. The little bit of, I think I'm gonna leave it at that, as that. And I'm gonna put, do I want to put Season's Greetings? Yeah, maybe we'll put Season's Greetings. All right, so we're gonna stamp that in cherry cobbler. Okay, finish your thought, Candy. There we go. I like how it came out. See what I was talking about, that these, the papers I stamped on, oh, that's the linen paper. Sorry, Joanne. That's the linen paper that it's on the clearance section, or at least it was. And it's really super reduced. It's like $2.50 or something. I love it because it's adhesive on top of it. So see, now we'll take the adhesive and we'll put it right here. I like how, oh. And what I was talking about before, about like selecting stamps that have the sentiment, it's in fonts that look like kind of more antique looking. That's what I like this Season's Greeting so much. Doesn't it look like an old piece of handkerchief now? I love it. I'm very pleased with myself, sorry. Alright, so now we're gonna put the flame floret die cut pieces. And I'm gonna put this oval around. Sorry, I'm not on camera. I find a little hard sometimes to actually layer this because they're not okay. I want to see most of the image and certainly my sentiment there. And farther down, that's what I like, my liquid glue. So that's the first. And now we're gonna put this one. Thank you, Joanne. I'm glad you like it. As I said, I'm very pleased with myself. I've been, as I said, I haven't left the house today. I've been sitting in this corner of my little house, working on cards non-stop, because I want to be finished. If not tonight, tomorrow night for sure. Because you have time to pack everything away and start addressing them. And if you knew my house, you know you need to pack things away because I don't have a craft room. So this is my living room and I need room to live. Alright, so this is the basic, right? And now all we have to do is put some decorating pieces here. So, oh, I just realized I didn't cut these, pre-cut these, but I can actually fussy cut them, I think, if I can grab a piece of paper. Basically, because this stamp that I'm going to use, that's also from, this is the leaves of the Ponciera on that set. Oh, I didn't do the center, which I did in Wild Wheat. I'm just gonna put some dots with my trusty water brush. I'm just gonna grab it directly from the pad. I'm just gonna just you know, barely, you can barely see it, but you know, I don't want, and I'm just gonna put a little bit more so there's not that much showing off. I like it. There we go, cleaning my brush here. All right, so let me grab a little piece of mossy meadow cardstock, and then we can stamp it and fussy cut this, because as I was explaining, these leaves from the Ponciera petals don't have a matching die. The dies that you get are the dies, which I have by my cut and emboss machine, the dies for the holly leaves, but not for this one. But anyway, I'll fussy cut them. I just need a piece of mossy meadow. Handy enough. Any guess what I was cutting here? I'm sure many of you will know. Anyway, so let's go with the leaf, and then we can fussy cut them. I love stamping and die cutting or fussy cutting on the same cardstock, because you get a thicker, or stronger use of the color, though it still matches everything, right? It looks like it's another color, and it's actually mossy meadow, sorry, and this is mossy meadow paper. So, but when it dries a little lighter, and you'll see it gets this effect. This is, you know, how it's gonna look at the end. So let's cut this. I wanted to do all the fussy cutting because these cards, as I said, they already have a lot going on. I didn't want you to be here. Sorry if I'm not on camera while I'm fussy cutting, but I need to see what I'm doing. All right. I had a lot of fun making these cards. So I hope you do too. Give them a try. The style, you know, as I said, you may not have everything I have, the same exact stamp sets or colors, but you know. These are not so hard to fussy cut, right? All right, almost done. And then we're gonna play with them a little bit more because I want them curled with the bone folder and breaking the fibers a little bit so they look a little bit more realistic. All right, done. Put the scissors away and grab, as we said, the bone folder. Just curl them a little bit. I like to fold them in the center vein, you know, so it kind of looks like, you see? And we can actually put a little bit of extra on the sides. We sponge it a little bit like this. No, not much needed because it's the same color, but you know. And this we already stamped. I usually do that when the pieces are not stamped. Like, for instance, these ones. I'm gonna do the one to show you the effect. If you just sponge these, it looks so much cooler, I think. But this is not stamped in the same color. This is stamped in the same color, so it doesn't really need it as much. But you know, it gives it a more finished look. And when it's the same, the color on color, I love it. Nita? Anyway, all right. Going back here, now we have to start decorating this. Now, let me take this unsightly piece of paper, and now we're gonna see how we want to put it, you know, and making sure that it doesn't go outside the frame of the card there. Okay, this doesn't belong. This was my sample for something else, but yes, these two, and then we're gonna have a punciera that I already made. I actually cut and sponge 2 punciera petals from the same set, and I glued them together. I also curled them a little bit, I'll show you how I did, because I have 2 extras here. These are my finished pieces. I like this one because this one I put too much of the gold enamel, but I'm gonna make one so you can see how it's done, because we have to let it dry anyway because of the enamel piece. So that's why I thought that I would make it ahead of time. Hi Deborah, thank you for joining. We're making today Victorian inspired holiday cards. So I'm using this is cherry cobbler cardstock, and I'm using cherry cobbler ink on it. You can barely see it, but you see it a little bit. You know, especially on the sides, it looks a little bit more realistic. Let's compare with a non-sponge one. See, I put a little bit more so you can see the difference. Okay, my fingers, thank God I didn't go get the, see, this is the sponge part, and this is not sponge. Can you tell a little bit? There's a little bit more detail here in this one. Anyway, so you just use tool. Did I sponge this one? I think yes, this one is sponged. I just put a little bit more and close my ink pad so that it doesn't dry. Hoping I won't stain anything. Then I have a glue dot to put them together. Oh, I forgot. And we're gonna curl them a little bit. Sorry. I was off camera again. Do tell me. Thank you, Deborah. I'm so glad you like it. Yeah, they do like, I mean, I love the linen paper. I mean, I love the linen paper always. But I knew I wanted to try to stamp on it to get this antique looking effect. And it kind of looks like a piece of an old handkerchief. I love it. All right, so here we go. And now we're going to get the enamel, metallic enamel effects in gold. And I'm just going to do, I can barely see with the flash here. Trying to separate them, because what I did yesterday is I wanted to have more than one dot to make it a little bit more like the poncieras are. But they got together, and that's why I got this big blurb when it dried. I think this one will look cool, but I have to let it dry. So we're gonna use this one for this project. Okay, so I'm gonna put this away so I don't mess it up. Believe me, I had enamel paint effects all over my work area, my fingers. Anyway, but no, not a big deal. It's easy to clean. All right, so then we're gonna put glue dots. We're gonna start adhering things. I'm gonna put a glue dot there. Put it that way. And this one, I want it a little bit curled like that. And I'm gonna put this one over here. Hi Julia, thank you for joining. Okay, I'm trying to curl it a little bit more because I like it more curled, because I'm gonna put things underneath as well. All right, and then we can put dimensional there to hold the curve once I achieve what I want. Anyway, and then I thought I had it in my envelope prepared, but no, I don't. I had this old ribbon that was the perfect color. It's actually old olive, but I kind of think that it goes with it because we're gonna put some old olive leaves as well. Let's see. Oh, here we have it. Like I'm bringing all my ribbons, well, not all, but the ones. And what I'm gonna do is a double bow. So I'm gonna cut a good chunk of ribbon. I think most of you know by now that I bought these paper towel holders, and I hold my ribbons like this, and it's very handy because it turns around, and you know, I have like my Christmas ribbon, so I can have that in a vertical space so they don't take that much space on my desk, which I need because, you know, my limited space. And it's very handy. But you have to get a paper towel holder that the middle rod is narrow enough so you can put the ribbons through the hole. Okay, let's try that again. Because the ribbons come with a little hole in the middle, so you have to make sure that the rod will fit in here. My plan was that if it didn't fit, I was gonna actually make those holes bigger, but you know, I'm glad it did fit. All right, so I'm getting 2 pieces of ribbon, and maybe I didn't cut enough, but I'm gonna do a double bow if my fingers allow at some point. There, hopefully, and grab it. Oh. All right, give me a little bit of time, because this is proving, or maybe I'll just cut a larger piece and save this for another purpose. But no, I got it. Yeah, finally. I hate wasting ribbon. I'm sure you sympathize with that. So I often have to deal with this, like, oh my God, I didn't cut enough. Okay, so this is a double bow. Just got 2 pieces of ribbon together and did a bow as if I was doing a normal bow. And now I have a double bow, just for fun. And I'm trying to separate the ears here so we get the full effect. And I cut my fingernails yesterday, and I don't have any fingernails now. There we go. All right, I'll let you play with it to get it how you like it. There. And we're gonna put it right there with another glue dot. There. All right, now that it's flat, I can just open up the ears and the tails, and now make it get the full effect. And where's the here's the little punciera that we were gonna use, and I'm gonna use a dimensional for this one. You know, the enamel effects, I think I've said it before, it takes a long time to dry, so you have to let it dry. That's why I had this pre-made. I show you how to make it on the other one, but I'm sure the other one is still not gonna be dry, so you know, it's not that. And I didn't use that much. It looks kind of cute, right? Much nicer than this one. Oh well. And then what else do we have here? I use this piece. This actually comes from Christmas Classics. If I can find it out. Yeah, Christmas Classics. And it has great dies as well. It has this one, and then it has, well, this one also comes with a bigger one that I have over there, and this piece also is over there. So on my dining room table next to my cut and emboss machine. So sorry, I was gonna show it to you, but so this comes in that set, but I put the red pearlized enamel effects here instead of metallic enamel effects that we use in the middle, the red ones, and it comes in red, silver, and what's it? Red, silver, and white, I think. The pearlized enamel effects, and I did it ahead of time so we don't have to for it to wait for it to dry. Anyway, so let's put a glue dot in this baby as well. Oh no, Abby, yes. I think the linen paper, I've been on to it for a long time. And I bought it when it was regularly priced. And now that it's on discount, I got more. Not that much more, but I got more. Because a little goes a long way. Anyway, I'm going to tack this here. Do I want to tack it under the tails? Maybe. There. All right, so, and I actually, for texture, I added these leaves that look like pine leaves, and also from Classic Christmas, and I cannot show you because it's in my cutting station over there. I love how I call it station, like I had, as if I had stations, but it's actually my dining room, which is unusable as dining room as it is right now, because it's full of Christmas stuff, car making Christmas stuff. All right, so I'm gonna do that over there, and then one of that, by the way, is old olive, because then I wanted to tie it with the ribbon that I use, and I like that the ribbon has a little bit of the golden edge. And then we're gonna use the other one on the other side. Just tuck it underneath here, and that's it. And this is my first, whoop, I had an extra here. Save this for another one. This is my first card. I actually like, because this Merry Christmas didn't stamp so well. So I like this one better. Anyway, I'll be, as I said, distress is fine. I mean, it works with the look, right? Oh, we need the inside, by the way. So for the inside, do I have a piece for the inside here ready? No, I don't. All right, for the inside, I'm just gonna stamp. Yeah, perfect. Thank God I had some pre-cut pieces. I'm just gonna stamp again the Punciera and just put the corner here. Maybe I'll just do the whole thing. And we're gonna do it twice because we're gonna turn it around so we get a fuller effect. And we're gonna give them the leaves as well. And I wanna go off the page a little bit. I should be using my mat, but I don't care if it's not perfectly stamped this time because we're going for this distress look. And that's my stamp set on, and my ink pad on the floor. Oh well, that's what happens when you have small spaces. Right, we're gonna glue this here. I think I colored it like to match the one in the handkerchief or in the piece of linen. Let's see what I did. No, I didn't. Oh, but I did distress the sides a little bit. I should have done that, but we can do it now. Should have done that. Silly me. This is again crumb cake. Just a little bit of crumb cake for the edges. And I'm actually gonna go in the middle of the flower a little bit. Oh, sorry, I'm off camera. I mean, how would you sponge it if it wasn't glued? It, you know, like I did the leaves before. There. I think that looks old enough, right? All right, so I'm gonna move on quickly to the next project, which is still using the same. I'm trying to grab the Morsi Meadow ink pad that I just threw on the floor because I may need it, so might as well grab it now. All right. Got it. Okay. I don't need it quite yet, but I will need it later. So, next card is gonna be this little Santa god. And this comes from Traditions of Saint Nick. And here I used the, what was it called? Oh my god, I checked it before and then I forgot. These dies, the celebration dies, I think. And they have this fancy layering ovals, shapes or something, stitch and semi-scalloped. I don't know how to call that, but anyway, they're retired. But you know, these are the things that I like to keep in my stash, my toolbox, because they're very useful. And it also uses, this is again the Traditions of Saint Nick, which is this paper, but I used the back of it. Okay, let me show you. See the back of it, because it has kind of like a Victorian looking to me, kind of wallpaper thingy. But I still embossed it with the distress style. And then I'm using here the glitter, silver and gold glitter paper that was on the online exclusives. Unfortunately, I think it sold out. But it was great because it's adhesive. So once you cut it, this peels off. And it's, well, it's adhesive. I cannot peel it off now because I don't have any nails, but trust me, it's adhesive. I'll have to peel it as soon as I put it on there. But anyway, let's work on this card. So for these, I have all the pieces ready, hopefully. There we go. I hit emboss this sentiment. I love this sentiment for the holidays. It's non-denominational. It says, may magic and wonder bloom this holiday. And I thought it was very nice to combine it with the Ponciera and Santa here. And the Santa is fussy cut from the Traditions of Saint Nick paper. There's one that has all the Santas, and I used several of them for some of my cards. I'll show you some other cards that I made yesterday, yes. But I don't want to show you all the cards that I made because, you know, that may take us all week. Anyway, so again, cherry cobbler, and let's work on these. Oh, so you know what I like to do with this. This is such a waste of good paper that I want to cut the rectangle, and I thought I had done that, but I didn't. The rectangle in the middle that you're not going to see anyway, so save it for something else. So I like to do 1/2 inch on each side. Can you see? Well, you know what 1/2 inch is anyway. All right, so I'm putting this here. This is like the 1/2 inch mark right here. So I'm gonna go all the way till, oh, my mat, by the way, is how long is this? I don't know. I'll measure it in a second and tell you. So I'm gonna go to, it's 5 1/4, so I'm gonna go to 4 3/4. And remember, you have also the measurements here. So I'm gonna turn it around, and now that I have it where it was, more or less, doesn't have to be perfect because it's not gonna be seen. I'm going the long sides first, and I have it on my half-inch mark there. I'm turning it around and going to my previous cut and lifting, turning it around, putting the half an inch, and that should be it. And I missed a little bit there, but I can cut this with my scissors, no problem, because as I said, this is not gonna be seen. Just so it gets to the corner. Just see, that's fine. And there's a little bit of glue because it's adhesive, so you know sometimes it takes just a notch. That's it. Save this is perfectly good to die cut little pieces for accents or use as a background for something else. I mean, why would you waste it if it's not gonna be seen, right? Especially that we know that now that it's gone forever. I'm very mad about not having bought more. I didn't realize that it was gonna be so sold out so fast. Anyway, and now we're gonna have to peel it, right, Candy? Oh, there we go. Oh no, I guess I didn't grab the right layer. Okay, I got it. Got it. It's so fun to use, but you have to be careful because you don't have wiggle room with this one. So I'm hoping I'm doing the right thing. Yes, it looks nice and centered, right? All right, so then we have this one cut at 4. I think let me not guess, but it was cut at 3 3/4 by 5. Sorry. So we're gonna see a sliver of the gold around this, and we're gonna glue this straight. All right. Again, this is embossed. I'm wasting a Santa here, but that's okay. I have others. But I do like this, the others, the reverse of this for these projects. And the embossing with the distress style folder. It's very effective, I think. Holding it a little bit because it's hard to adhere on the glitter. But anyway, let's put it aside and work on here. This is our label. Oh, I forgot a very important thing to tell you. And I don't know if it was, no, not in the other one. How I made this label is with tea staining. I think I've talked about it before. This one, I don't think it was tea stain. I think it was just a sponge. I can't remember. But this one is tea stain. You see these stains? I kind of like that. And I'm going to show you how to make it. Because I have a tea here made. And I didn't bring it to my little table. But I want to show it again. In case you didn't remember or something. Here's my tea, and it's kind of a funky color because I made it 2 days ago. Don't leave the tea bags in, because if you leave the tea bags in, you're gonna get like an experiment. I make it very concentrated. You can make it as concentrated as you want. To get a darker tea, it would stain darker. And where is my brush for the tea? Oh, here we go. And I have a flat brush. And I'm getting a piece of vanilla paper. Okay, and where's my little mat so I don't get everything wet. And just you know, easily just go like this. Move the tea around. Try not to get the stripes, because it will be less realistic. So just change positions as such. Once you have it the darkness that you want, just dip it again, and just with your finger go like this, and just let it dry. You can cut labels from this. You can do whole backgrounds. You can do anything. I'm gonna put the tea away because I don't want any accidents, okay? But you get the idea of how to make that. So I cut this from this, and I wanted variation to show you two techniques to get the old looking labels. One with sponging and one with tea inking. And you know how we sponged this one? We sponged it to make it darker. I actually tried to color it with the linen paper with the tea, and it kind of looks cool too. I just, maybe too dark, but I don't know. I think it looks cool as well. So I'm gonna make another of these cards with this tea stain as well. So you can choose which technique you want to use for your antique cards. Anyway, going back to where we were. So that's how I did this label. And now we're gonna put here the Ponciera. Leave Santa for later. Oh, here I had like everything prepared. Oh, perfect. All right. Again, I'm sticking with, even though he has the robe that's more real red, I'm gonna use the cherry cobbler because I like it better. And I'm gonna do like we did with the linen. And try to rotate it. For some reason, in this card, I did the leaves in red, like all in red. I think I'm gonna do it in green this time. Just because. Variation, try different things, right? See what works, what you like best. All right, where's my mat? Here. And this we're gonna put here. Sorry, I think I'm off camera, but you get the idea. Actually, I'm gonna actually layer it like I did with that one. Yeah, I think this looks nice enough. I'm also, as different to this card that I made here, I'm gonna actually fill it in like I did the hanky with my blending brush. Even though it's gonna take me a little longer, but anyway, it's gonna be faster because this is cardstock and not linen. So just want a little bit of color. I'm not going for realism. I'm not looking where the light comes from and everything. This is just to give it a little bit more color. See how much faster this is than the linen? It's a smooth paper. The ink moves better here. But I like the effect on the linen as well. Very much so. So much so that I can't wait to make another one. another card. All right, so I'm not gonna bother covering the middle because I think we're gonna put some embellishments there. Just gonna clean my brush before I put it away. All right. So now this is done, and we just have to assemble the card because this one is pretty easy. We have a base. We're gonna put our sentiment there. Just regular glue. I put quite a bit because once you stain it with tea, the cardstock with tea, it gets very stiff, and it's a little wavy, which adds to the antique look. But it also will take, you know, it will be harder for it to adhere here. So I love it. I love how it looks. I think it was a good idea to fill that. I think I'm gonna fill that in, but I'm not gonna put you to the trouble to do it right now because you've seen it how it's done. So you just see it takes a little bit more time to dry the because of the embossing underneath and because of the texture of the stained paper. Anyway, I'm gonna get my Santa that I fussy cut because I don't have the dies. If you have the Traditions of Saint Nick dies, I think it cuts some of the Santas. I don't think it does all, but some of them, or one of them at least. But, you know, they're not so hard to fussy cut. So I am using the boys. And I'm using crumb cake. Just because I think it matches this color. Also, I'm going a little bit over the white because I don't want so much white showing because this is very cream. So I'm just gonna go over the white and do a little bit of sponging over the white. Okay, I'm satisfied. And just gonna pop some dimensionals in here. One in the head, one on the gifts, one on the other arm, one to the bottom, and one in the middle. I think maybe I'll move this one so I can put two here. Maybe I'll just do a little dimensional on the foot. Tiny dimensionals. The mini dimensionals. The only dimensionals I don't have are the black dimensionals because you don't see them, so I don't really need them to be black, but that's fine. All right, but I do use the mini and the regular size a lot. All right, so now we're gonna position here so we don't cover the sentiment. And it's a little farther down than the other one, but I don't care that it's still, well, we can see this dimensional. I don't like that. Oops, oh, look what I did. I ripped it off. Oh, no. No problem because it's distressed, so I can get a little bit of ink. Okay, let me grab some ink from here. There you go. Nobody saw that. I just don't want to see the dimensionals. So I'm gonna cut one of these in half. One of the minis in half. And save the other half for something else. Another foot. I have more Santas to use, so, you know. I just think it would be problematic if this was loose because when you put it in the envelope, it may get stuck, you know. And I'm actually going to use the other one for the other foot. Now that I have it, right? Right. Why does it adhere more to my hand than to the paper? I don't get it. All right, so this is our second card. 2 more to go. How you like it so far? By the way, oh my God, look what I did, guys. Dun, dun, dun. I glued it upside down. Not to worry, I'll cut this and I'll, and I'll put it in another card base. But anyway, I hope you like it. My God, anyway, that's what happens when you're going fast. I do like, I think I used a bigger punciera for this one, that's why. And this is smaller. Oh, I like them both. Anyway, moving on to the third card. That's the music card. And I remember my friend Julia, thank you, Deborah. Yeah, I would love it more if it wasn't upside down. But, I'll rescue it and I'll put it on another card base. My friend Julia always says, like, oh, Victorian, the pink is very Victorian. So I thought, like, yeah, that's true. So let's make something with pink. So I'm using for this one, Blushing Bright as my mat. And I'm using the Merry Melody paper, embossing folder, sorry. So here's another example of where I sponge this one and I tea stain this one. And for this card, I'm going to tea stain it as I showed you I did. And I also tea stain, this is all sponged. It's the same from the Celebration dies. See how it's the stitch and with the little scallop edges. It's not totally scallop, but you know what I mean. I don't know that's called. So we'll see what we like better. I wanted to show the difference of 2 ways of making it antique looking, as I said. So let's start with that, and we'll see. I like this card a lot. Plus, I come from a musical family, so my father's musician, my grandparents were musicians, my uncle was a musician, so I'm still gonna stain the sides a little bit. Oh, and by the way, I cut this with the decal rectangles, as you can see. And there's a right way and a wrong way of putting the paper. So I just have to figure out. I think it's this way, yes. It's hard to tell when it's embossed only. But yeah, the music it's like if you put like the letters upside down, right? My father would be very upset with me if I did that. So I'm just going to use crumb cake to put in the corners. And I'm going to go a little bit over the notes as well, just so that they show a little bit more. Not all of them, but but because not everything needs it, because I've already stained the cardstock, so it already has that stainy color. Distressed look. Yeah, and once you go through any embossing with a little bit of ink, even if it's not very strong ink, because this is crumb cake is not a very strong color, but it pops up a little bit more. You see? Nice, right? I like it. I like it a lot. Anyway, moving on. So we're gonna glue this to the base. And this uses just like I'm using vanilla for the base, but I'm actually using the heavy vanilla cardstock, so it's a little thicker. You may not want to use that, especially if you're mailing things, because it may be a little heavier, but Alright, I actually, for this one, I curled the edges a little bit, so it looks like, oh, it's a piece of paper that we just put in here. So I'm just gonna try to do it, even though it's glued already, just by lifting the edges like this. You can also distress the paper, and I'll show you in the card next to this, the edges without, if you don't have the decal rectangles. You get a similar effect if you just distress the edges with your scissors, but we'll do that later. Like just advance. Oh, I just got wet with the brush of the tea. All right. Sorry, I had to get a drink. I'm talking a lot. I'm gonna do the edges of this as well. I'm gonna be a little bit more heavy-handed with that because I want this to pop over that. See? So I'm staying more. I'm not going so fast. I'm staying over the same spot a little longer so it gets more ink. There we go. I like it. And of course I hit embossed the season greetings, and I like, as I said, I like this sentiment because it's the fonts are very kind of old-fashioned, so the font combination, maybe not Victorian, but you know, old-fashioned enough. So we're gonna pop this up with dimensionals. All right. And I'm just gonna put this here. And I think I told you guys last year when I used this embossing folder, the music actually is the music to Joy to the World. So tempted as you may be to use it. Oh, I forgot to put the ribbon underneath. But no, not a problem. Tempted enough to use it for like a happy birthday, but it is not happy birthday or anything like it. It's Joy to the World. So it's very Christmassy. If you're sending it to somebody who doesn't read music, then they may never find out, and you can use it for other occasions. Actually, I'm gonna put this one over there. I'm trying to avoid the dimensionals I just put. Anyway, there. Does it look like the H ribbon a little bit, right? That's what I'm trying to put it, not... This is an old ribbon that I also have, and I think because it has the gold in it, it's blushing bright, but because it has the gold in it, it goes very well with this. I'll trim it afterwards. Once I have it where I want it, I'm gonna hold it with glue dots. I mean, it would have been easier if I had thought about it before putting the label on, but I didn't. But not a problem. That happens all the time, right? So speaking of Victorian, not that it's Victorian technically, but how many of you are watching The Gilded Age? I am. It's by Julian Fellows, who's the guy who did Downton Abbey. But it's not as good as Downton Abbey. But it happens in New York, so I kind of like it. It's entertaining. All right. So I cut the tail there so it doesn't get out of my... card. And I'm gonna cut the other tail. All right. So we have that, and now we have to put some embellishments. And as as I did before, this is using the metallic enamel effects in gold, but by the magic of TV, I already have it done because I didn't want to have to wait till for it to dry. But it also has two of these, one of them with the already, these are two different sizes. So let me grab the same size one. So this is the one that I made before when I was showing you how to sponge it to get the a little bit more texture. And I'm gonna actually fold it in the middle to get the vein going. And now that I have it where I want it, now I'm gonna sponge it in Mossy Meadow. Anyway, so nobody's watching Gilded Age on HBO. This is season 2 and it's pretty good. Well, entertaining. As I said, it's not as good as the characters are very black and white, but the goody good characters and the bad characters, you know, but anyway. But it's still entertaining. I love a period stuff, and I also love that it happens in New York. I had already sponged this, but I'm just gonna refresh it a little bit, and that's it. All right, so we're gonna put glue dots here. I thought I was gonna get I thought I wouldn't have enough glue dots to last me for this life, but I think I'm doing okay. Yeah, and when I position this, I try to avoid the edge of the car. I should have moved everything a little bit farther up. I don't know. I did it a little low this time, but anyway, we'll make it work. And just so that, yes, this is covering the ribbon a little bit too much, and I want it to there. To hold this in place, I'm gonna put a dimensional, or actually 2 dimensionals, one on top of the other, because I think it's pretty tall. Can you see what I'm doing? I hope so. There, so it will hold the height as well, even when I put it in the envelope. And then we're gonna put this guy here. And we're just gonna, I'm just gonna glue. This is light enough, a little bit of glue will work fine. A little bit candy. I put way too much. But we're not gonna see that part, I don't think. There. And then we're gonna put the pink Princiera, which I made the same way that I made the other one. I stained it with a crumb cake, and I cut it from Blushing Bright paper. I curled it, so you saw me making that, and I don't need to show you again. That's how we're saving some time. I'm gonna put a little dimensional, mini dimensional right there. I think I use Wild Wheat for this bottom one because it's a little bit more yellowish, but it's kind of like what these pink poinsettias, they have like a greenish hue in the leaves, so I was trying that. And now I'm using Mossy Meadow. Again, I'm gonna just glue that. Mossy Meadow and old olive. Just curl it a little bit. Oh, it topped out. Did you see that? Sometimes with the emboss, and also because this was tea stain, you may need a tougher adhesive, but we'll see how it goes. Oh, I see what happened is that I wanted to put it not on the label but directly on there. That should hold it. All right, and now to finish it up, I'm using these iridescent pastel gems because they're ones that come in the nice pink, so I can use them for this. So there's only two sizes. There's the big size and the little size, and I'm gonna use 3 of them here for as if there was the berries of the holly, and 1 for the center of my ponchera. Actually, let me move that further up, and this like that. Sorry, I think my hands were covering what I'm doing, right? All right, so I thought that we were done, but no, we have to put that in a card base, and we make sure that we don't put it upside down like before. I think it's the first time I've done that, but anyway, there's always a first time for everything, and it's easy enough to fix. I'm not gonna be too upset about it. Yeah, and we have a card base, right? Regular card base. Just put it right there, and that's it. That's our card. I do like this card a lot too. So what do you like better, the sponge or the tea stain? I think the tea stain looks more realistically old, but the sponge has a very cool effect too. Anyway, I like them both. I can't choose, they're my children. Anyway, all right, moving on to the last card of the night. And this was like an extra because honestly, I didn't want to have you so long here, but I figure it's like, I want to make it, so. And for this one, it's this one here. We are gonna use the paper from Traditions of Saint Nick. We are using the layer in between, and this is like the timber embossing folder, and we're using cherry cobbler. And my label is gonna be a little different. It's tea stain, okay? And then we have these are from, what was it called? Peaceful Boss. That was another discontinued thing. Stamp set. This one here. I love this one. This is where the season greetings comes from, but it has a very kind of antique look. Like, actually, I can try to. Okay, my next linen stamp is gonna be, stamp piece is gonna be with this one, because I think it will look very cool. All right. All right, so for this one, we're gonna distress this paper because look how it looks originally, and like this doesn't, I mean, the image is kind of old-fashioned, but it doesn't look very old. Tea stain, more antique. Okay, yeah, Abby and Helen like the tea stain too. Like, yes, that's true. You have to be careful, Abby, not to get the paper too wet. But even if you get it too wet, you can wet it on the other side so it doesn't curl so much, and then I let it dry. I sometimes wet both sides of the paper so it doesn't curl so much, and then I just let it dry, and overnight, and it kind of works. And if you need to put weight on it to get it straight again, it doesn't really matter. But it's true, like this paper is not done for watercoloring or anything, so it may get a little furry if you manipulate it too much. But anyway, let's manipulate this one right now, but not the tea staining because we don't have time for it to dry. But so we're gonna use crumb cake again, and I think I used you know guys, I know it's discontinued, but if you have soft suede, this works very well for this one. So I'm gonna use soft suede, but if not, you can use other browns. I'm just gonna do that. Actually, I'm gonna do the middle first, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna distress the edges, so I'll go back to the edges later. And I de-stained this paper before. Actually, silly me, I already had it. No, distressed and de-stain. There we go. I don't have to do that. I can use that. But it's a little smaller. No, I'm gonna do this one. I'll save this for something else. But this is how it looks, de-stain. And then I just did the edges with a little bit more. But I can tell that it's de-stain because of the stiffness of the paper. Yeah, so let me continue working on that. You can also use your blending brush for this, but for now I'm gonna use this one. I think it's gonna be faster, and I like that I get the blots from time to time, you know, because it looks like, you know, like I'm gonna do some darker stuff. Okay, and now we're gonna distress the edges in case you don't have the decal rectangles. This was cut with the decal rectangles and looks pretty cool. But even if you don't have the decal rectangles, oh, I used the crumb cake after all. Oh well. I'll use this for the edges after I distress them. This meaning soft suede. So first off, you can curl the edge a little bit. You can even cut it with your nails a little bit. Grab a little piece off. There. Don't be afraid. You know, you can. And just to begin with, I do with the bone folder to break the fibers a little bit. And then I just go with my scissors, my snips, and I just distress the edges like that, either by scratching and then just hammering, kind of. And you can do more on one side. As I said, you can get a cut. Alright. Don't be afraid, because there's no right or wrong. And then we're gonna get, I'm gonna get soft suede for this. And I'm gonna go all over what I just distressed. And look at that. Doesn't it look like a piece of paper that it's been lying in somebody's attic for a while? The important thing is that you don't see a lot of white, because this is more like a vanilla kind of look. And the paper is white, so I just want to make sure that I'm satisfied with it, and I am. Here's where my label's gonna go, so I'm not worrying too much about that side. And now we assemble. Oh, we have to actually, before assembling, let me do the stamping, the sentiment in cherry cobbler. I'm gonna try this because I know this image is a little crooked when I put the image on. Oh, it's pretty. It looks pretty. Pretty, okay? Yeah, looks great. I love this sentiment. And it's non-denominational, so, you know, you can use it for anybody. Some people like that. Right, Helen? Alright, so I'm gonna, now we assemble that. We put our mat that's been embossed. You can barely see it, but because the sides of the main image are gonna be lifted, you do see a little bit more than you would normally. There. I'm sorry, I'm not on camera much, right? Okay. I'll move back up. Just want to make sure that my edges are lifted. And there's a piece here that's missing and a broken piece here. And I'm gonna distress it a little bit here. You know, you play with it until you're happy with your results. And I'm just gonna put glue here in the middle because I want my edges lifting out of the paper. Yes, right, Helen? We know that. All right. So that's our base, and maybe it's lifting too much. We don't want to get it stuck getting in and out the envelope. Yeah, okay. All right, and now we're gonna put the sentiment on dimensionals. I'm gonna put it a little farther up so that I don't have the problem that I had before where my things were getting off the card almost. Oopsie, these are all stuck. And now I'll remember to stick the ribbon before I put the sentiment down. So let's do that. I love this ribbon. This is also a discontinued ribbon, but it's cherry color and gold. So I think it's so perfect for the holidays. So perfect. I'm gonna trim the edges a little bit. I can trim them a little bit more later, but this is way too long. Yeah, so I'm gonna put it down like that. For this, I will use Stampin' Seal Plus. Okay, just a strip there. I didn't mean to put it so far down, but my sentiment is gonna be over it, so I don't care. Okay, get my garbage out of the table. All right, so that will go like this. Yes. And now the sentiment. Yeah, no, I have to put it a little bit more to the left, my left, because I don't want it on the edge, and I want it a little bit down. I said up, sorry. Up, down. And not crooked if possible. There we go. Adjusted. Thankfully it can be adjusted. Oh, I think I don't have any more cutouts of the big one. the darker one, but I have these. Oops. I have the little ones, that's fine. All right, so these we're gonna put with glue. I'll put this on. Almost done, people. I'll let you go back to your Sunday evening. Some of us work tomorrow, so I appreciate you staying with me. Okay, sorry, I'm putting a little bit of glue on the tip there. I was doing it outside the camera. All right, so then we're gonna put the pines cones. It still didn't do it far up enough. Anyway, just put a little bit of glue, and then I'm gonna put a dimensional right behind this, underneath this. Thank you so much, Deborah. I'm glad you like all the ideas. As I said, they take a bit of time, these antique looking cards, but it's worth it. I think they're special. And I'm gonna do the same with this one. I'm gonna put glue there and a dimensional on the tip, making sure that we don't see the dimensional. Yeah, because part of the pine cone, it's outside the label and part is on the label. So on the label we want the glue, and on the dimensional so it has the same height as the label has, because the label is on dimensionals. All right, so we just need to put a little bit more greenery, and we put this one here. There. And another one. Do I have another one of the other color? Oh, don't tell me I ran out of... I didn't cut enough of the old olive. Well, I can cut them later. And we'll put some greenery down there. I thought I had enough. I obviously did not. We can do some gold one, but no, I don't like this gold. No. We're gonna do this for now. I'll add some more and I'll post the picture, okay? Well, the picture is like this one. Anyway, I just need to cut some more of the old olive because I do like the combination of the two colors like this one, okay? And then we're gonna do a little bow with, this is the elegant trim that comes in gold and silver. It's a dual package. And just got a little bit of, just to add a little bit more to this. Just cut that. And a dimension and glue dot. I'm gonna fold the glue dot on itself because I don't need that much seam, and I'm just gonna put that guy there. And just we finish it off with some of these red and green adhesive bar pearls that they said red and green. Honestly, the green, to me, this is more blue than green, and this is red, yes. But there's also silver and gold, and I'm gonna go for the gold ones for this one. The gold, I put one of the gold on the other leaf that I'm gonna put later, so I'll put that later. And then I'm gonna put one of these babies here. And that's it. All right, so I think this is it, guys. Well, actually the inside for this one was just a pine. Oh, another of the mossy meadow leaves. Let's do the inside since I'm at it, right? Might as well. Oh no, because I have to cut that. Okay, forget about it. I'll do it later. You get the idea. This is cut with the decal rectangles, and then sponge all around, and then I just stamp the pine cones. All right. All right, so this is it for me tonight. I'm gonna actually put the finish card for once, and then we did the music one that I really like. Well, I like them all. Which one is your favorite, guys? Then we have Santa here with the punciera, and then we have the frame handkerchief one. So which one is your favorite? Do you have a favorite? I honestly do like them all a lot. Seeing them again, because I made them yesterday and the day before, seeing them again makes me realize how much I do like them. So they have to go for people very special, because they do take time, you know. This is not like a run-of-the-mill one. But anyway, well, thank you so much for joining. I'll keep you posted what happens next Sunday. I may have to postpone the live. I may have to cancel it. So, oh, you like the frame one, Deborah? I kind of like that one too. I like them all, but the frame one is it's different, right? Anyway, so I may have to cancel. My sister is visiting, and we have a full agenda of things to do, a full schedule. So I don't know if I'll be able to fit in live on Sunday, or we'll postpone, or I'll have to cancel, but I'll keep you posted. Okay, thank you for all the hearts. Thank you, Abby. I know I like them. It's hard to pick, but I'm still smidge inclined to choose, like Deborah, the linen one. Anyway, so I am glad that you enjoyed this. I hope you did, at least. And thank you for joining, and I'll keep you posted what happens next week, okay? Thank you so much. Have a lovely week. Bye-bye.